Welcome to the debut episode of Wrestling's Lost Media. I'm Lou with Generation S, and today we are looking at Radio WWF. Radio WWF started in 1993, but somehow lasted until SummerSlam 2000. And today we take a peek into the forgotten history of Radio WWF.
The Royal Rumble continues. You're listening to Radio WWF.
So before we get started, let's just go over what exactly Radio WWF was. It wasn't like satellite radio that you know and have today in 2023. This was basically syndicated radio. Certain radio stations in local markets would purchase the rights to rebroadcast Radio WWF. With that being said, in September of 93, the WWF started promoting a radio show that, according to owner Vince McMahon, would enable fans to interact and ask unfiltered questions to the company's wrestling personalities. The main host for the programs would be none other than good old JR, Jim Ross. Radio WWF would not only provide alternate commentary for WWF pay-per-views, but it would also go over current events in the wrestling industry as a whole. It has been reported that the show actually reported on the infamous scissor fight between Arn Anderson and Sid Vicious, and that actually took place in WCW. Survivor Series 1993 was one of the first live events to be broadcasted by Radio WWF, with Jim Ross and Gorilla Monsoon both calling the action. It is unknown if WrestleMania 9 was broadcasted on Radio WWF, as Jim Ross was on TV commentary, and Monsoon was presented as a backstage interviewer during the event. JR and Monsoon also provided radio commentary for the 1993 SummerSlam and 94 Rumble. The 1994 Royal Rumble is the most complete broadcast of Radio WWF that is available online. It's also unknown if WrestleMania 10 was broadcasted, just like the previous WrestleMania in Las Vegas. In addition to calling live play-by-play, Radio WWF also had interview segments. A segment on October 16, 1993 featured Macho Man Randy Savage discussing Hulk Hogan in a very personal manner. Savage made various comments surrounding Hogan's personal life, including his use of steroids, his acting career, and accused Hogan of causing him to be divorced in 1990. This led to a discussion on whether or not the interview was scripted or not, but it's important to note that JR and Johnny Polo, who became Raven later in ECW, may have known in advance as they hyped up the interview, saying that, quote, Savage was going to make waves, unquote. And also, it's important to know that Jim Ross was the interviewer feeding the lines to Macho Man Randy Savage. At some point, Jim Ross will be replaced by none other than Vince McMahon himself, but now the fan questions are being screened in advance, much like they did on WWF Livewire on the USA Network in the mid to late 90s. Radio WWF was eventually canceled on an unknown date, but did make a return in the late 90s on the Armed Forces Network. There is audio featuring Michael Cole discussing the 1998 Royal Rumble victory by Stone Cold Steve Austin, but the clip did not originate in 1998. Cole mentions that he's going to be joined by the WWF champion Triple H and Stephanie McMahon Helmsley. I theorize that this is from January 2000, where Triple H was the WWF champion. He has the alliance storyline-wise with Stephanie McMahon Helmsley. Perhaps the company was setting up what was going to be happening at WrestleMania 2000, going over Royal Rumble 2000, and going over past Royal Rumble winners. The final media broadcast of Radio WWF was from SummerSlam 2000, with Michael Cole and Mick Foley serving as hosts. They even had a segment where The Rock called in and he sang the SmackDown Hotel with Mick Foley. Radio WWF was canceled again shortly after this, and unfortunately we don't have a definitive date of the final broadcast. So there is a bit of lost media there with the WWF, the WWE, pertaining to Radio WWF broadcasts. It would be interesting if the WWE takes these audio files, if they do have them, and dub it over the original broadcast. Full disclosure, I'm a New York Yankees fan, and when I go back and I watch old games on their network, if they're showing a game from a national broadcast, if it's on Fox, if it's on CBS, they will take the audio from the radio broadcast and dub it over the national TV broadcast, so you're getting a slice of home cooking, so to speak. So that's all for our first episode of Wrestling's Lost Media here on Generation S. Thank you so much for watching, and please let us know what you would like to see in future episodes. Thanks again, and we'll catch you down the road next time here on Generation S.